जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज, निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी, बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु, जो दायक फलचारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके, सुमिरौ पवन कुमार, बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि, हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीसतिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज संवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाँकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
हरि शरणं 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 हरि शरणं
हरि शरणं हरि शरणं
हरि शरणं हरि शरणं
हरि शरणं हरि शरणं
हरि शरणं हरि शरणं
हरि शरणं हरि शरणं हरि शरणं हरि शरणं
हरि शरणं हरि शरणं हरि शरणं हरि शरणं हरि शरणं हरि शरणं हरि शरणं हरि शरणं हरि शरणं हरि
Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. A very, very, very warm welcome to all our respected sadhaks to yet another interpretation session. Let us begin by bowing our heads
Jai Shri
to
Krishna.
our. Let's begin with Suresh Bhai. I'm going to start again, okay? Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. A very, very, very warm welcome to all our respected sadhaks to yet another interpretation session. Let us begin this session by bowing our heads and acknowledging the latent presence of our Param Pujya Gurudev Swami Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj, whose grace has paved this beautiful divine journey of read Geeta, teach Geeta, and live Geeta. Monday to Friday, we learn correct pronunciation of Geeta Ji, hence read Geeta. Then there are other ways of spreading the awareness of Geeta Ji, like we are going to have our Geeta Sevi Bano program on October 8th. So join that and take part in Teach Geeta. For Live Geeta, every Saturday, Sunday, we get this opportunity to listen to these interpretation sessions and bring Geeta Ji to our life and live Geeta. But for everything, we must begin by invoking the presence of the Almighty. For that, I'm going to call forward Nirmala Didi, who is from New Delhi and joined Geeta Parivar in November of 2022. She's a retired teacher and still loves reading and teaching. Didi, please come forward for the prayer. She is a sadhak of L4 and is giving her seva as a tech assistant in L1, L2, and L3. Didi, please start the prayer.
जय श्री कृष्ण सभी को। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंस चाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु। जय श्री कृष्ण।
Thank you so much, Didi, for this beautiful beginning. This little guiding light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. For Deep Prajalan, I'm going to call forward Hemlata Malpani Didi, who is from Ratlam, MP, and helps her husband in business. She also has been working with Ekal School for last 20 years. Didi, please light the jyot.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्च छुरित इव संभिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृताम् कलहंसकृतावासाम् वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you, Didi, for this lovely darshan in this well-lit ambience. Now let's move forward. This week, we have been continuing with our third chapter, third adhyay, which seems very complex yet intriguing. And who better than our dear Shraddha Didi to throw light on the interpretation of this chapter. Shraddha Didi is a resident of Hyderabad. She's BE Electronics and postgraduate diploma in IT system and management. She has worked as a mobile application developer and a team lead for more than 13 years. Shraddha Didi's sahaj and simple way of bringing light on Geeta ji makes it easy for us to make it a part of our life. Welcome, Shraddha Didi.
Welcome to the session, all of you. Let us view the start of the meeting. Meenakshi Didi, beautiful prayer and beautiful deep prajwalan. With that, we'll be starting a session on the third chapter. Before that, let us seek blessings of Shri Krishna himself and Swamiji. Hari Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Hare Paramatmane, Pranatah Kleshanashaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Krathitam Puranamunam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Mashtadashatyayini Amba Tvamanusandhanami Bhagavadgītā Bhavatveshini. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. So today we all assemble to discuss a very beautiful, very important, extremely interesting chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We all are learning Bhagavad Gita with a purpose. And what is that purpose? The purpose is to learn the skill of living. We all know that Bhagavad Gita is essentially a book. It is a scripture which is going to help us attain the best life skills. And what are these life skills going to help us do? These life skills are going to help us excel in our lives, isn't it? What is expected from Bhagavad Gita? It is going to equip us with such life skills that will take us apart from all the rest of the world, which takes us away from the pain and pleasures of this life and keeps us in a state of mind which is a very blissful state, a state which will be always happy, and that is what we all seek to achieve. from Bhagavad Gita. Swamiji always says that this is a very small grantha. To be called as a grantha also, it is actually very small in size. If you see a small book, you must all have seen the size of the Bhagavad Gita, just this small. And it has the knowledge of all the Vedas, all the Upanishads, everything has been summarized and put in this one small grantha. For what? For us to understand how to live life in the most excellent way, most appropriate way, and bringing meaning to our life. Whatever we are doing in our lives, whatever we are striving to achieve in our lives, it should have a purpose, it should have a meaning. None of us wants to live a life where there is no meaning, there is nothing to achieve in the life. We all are set to do something in the life. And while we are doing something, how should it be done so that it doesn't become a burden for us? This is the basic crux. How should we attain a state? How should actions be done in a way that they don't become burdensome? That is what we are going to see in this chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That is the Karma Yoga. And Rupal Didi has been very beautifully explaining to you all the shlokas. For some reasons, she isn't for some very urgent work, she isn't available today. And I seek this opportunity to have a conversation with you on one of the most important chapter. And with her blessings, Swamiji's blessings, and blessings of all other Vivechaks and knowledgeable people of Gita Parivar, let us dive into this chapter and understand karma, understand action in its best possible way. You all have seen the first two shlokas where Arjun has told Shri Krishna, whatever you are telling me, this is confusing. What he has said in the first two shlokas, Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatking karmani bhore mam niyojayasim keshava. And further he also adds what he has added, vyamishreneva vakena buddhim mohayasi mami tadekam vada nishchitya yena shreyohamapnuyam. You are confusing me. Now, when this entire conversation between Arjun and Shri Krishna has started, it was started with what purpose? That Shri Krishna will help Arjun understand what should be done. He will help Arjun find a way out of this entire confusion. He is in a confused, baffled state. And what is expected out of Shri Krishna is that he takes him out of this confusion, removes, clears the clouds of his thoughts and gives him a very clear vision as to what has to be done. Now, while you are telling me all this, what you are ending up doing, buddhi mohayasi mame, you are confusing me further. Once you are saying that jnana yoga is staged, once you are telling karma yoga is staged, here one thing we all have to realize, okay, when we are listening to something, we all have a selective listening. That is what even Arjun is having. Shri Krishna has told before this third chapter, the conversation in the third chapter, what Shri Krishna has told is a long message about it. He starts with the knowledge of what? Atma. In the second chapter, he gives the knowledge of Atma, how the Atma is, changing the bodies. Then he gradually takes a dive towards Karma Yoga, and then Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya basically means knowledge. So he has given a lot of importance on knowledge. And then he has also ended the second chapter with a note of what? Note saying the one who has a right intellect, Sthita Prajna, again emphasizing how to become a Sthita Prajna, have a balanced mindset. He has expressed that the importance of knowledge is there. Now, what mindset was Arjun in? He was in a mindset to just run away from the battlefield. He didn't want to do the battle out of what? Out of ignorance, out of attachment to his people. He wanted to run away from the battle. Now, when that intent is already there, the message that he has also derived is more, what is more suitable? Let me pursue the Jnana Yoga and run away from this battle, and let me get you yourself a saying. See, suppose these small kids, my younger one, I'll tell him, today you are not playing chess. Okay, you already finished your digital screen time, all that. No, Mama, but you only had said, no, that this is the me time, I can do what I. So naturally, what is the tendency of a person, of anybody? Just like a kid, they will listen to what is beneficial for them. Arjun has also picked up that one thing. You have only said Oh, this is not done, Shri Krishna. You are confusing me. You are completely taking care of this my mind, and you are completely confusing me. Buddhi mohayasiva me. And in this case, Shri Krishna loves Arjun so much. And no matter how Arjun is asking his questions and what mindset he is asking the questions, what Shri Krishna is telling with a lot of love, with equal amount of patience, he starts answering his questions. See, this one thing we also should develop. When somebody is asking questions with a intent of what, seeking help, like I was just talking about kids, sometimes they'll ask, no, you have to tell me, we have to understand. There's a difference of 25-30 years between you and the kid. There is no reason to get angry. With love, how Shri Krishna, when we are trying to imbibe the principles of Bhagavad Gita in our lives, we should also imbibe these principles in our lives. No matter how many times a thing is asked, no matter in what frustration it is being asked, no matter in what tone it is being asked, our answer should be with a lot of love, full of patience and knowledge. Shri Krishna starts answering his questions here, and what he says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacham Lokesmin Vividha Nishtha Pura Prokta Maya Nagha Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. What Shri Krishna is telling, whatever he is telling now, Pura Prokta Maya Naga, he is telling Arjun, I have already told you this earlier. The reason why I told you we have to learn this loving and polite way of answering from Shri Krishna, because here he is very clearly telling Pura Prokta Maya Naga. If we are answering somebody's question and we have to answer the same thing twice, how we'll say, Are kitne baar bataun tumko? How many times should I tell you the same thing? But Shri Krishna is not telling like that. Shri Krishna is saying Pura Prokta Maya Naga. Here the adjective that Shri Krishna has used for Arjun is what? Anagha, Maya Anagha. What sentence, that second charan that he is saying is Pura Prokta Maya Anagha. Anagha, hey Anagha, I have already told you this earlier. I have told you, but I'll tell you again. The two schools of thought I'm going to tell you. Before we see what Shri Krishna is telling, let us look at this adjective, this Anagha. What does this Anagha mean? Anagha means somebody who is sinless, whose mind is very pure. At this point of time, one question should come to all the sadhaks. Why is it necessary for Shri Krishna to entertain all the questions of Arjun? See, he is in a battlefield. Suppose I see some small children. If you're rushing for school, the bus is waiting downstairs, and we are rushing for school, and in that this child starts asking, why we have to go to school? Why should I go to school? What is the use of going to school? What the parent will do? Oh God, you just go to school. Don't ask all these questions. But Krishna is not like that. Arjun is doing the same thing. Why I should go and do this battle? This battle is not good for me. And Shri Krishna is not saying, just go, your bus is waiting. Just go. These people are waiting to fight with you. No. He takes time to make him understand the importance of battle. He's taking time to explain him the importance of his actions. And why so? Because Arjun is Anagha. He is a pure soul. He doesn't have any malignant feeling for anybody. Had he been somebody who wanted to just go and kill, they are my enemies and I'll take a revenge, I'll kill them. If he had that kind of thought process, Shri Krishna, this entire situation wouldn't have arisen. He would have enjoyed the battle. But Arjun is not like that. He has love for enemies also. He has a very loving nature. He has a very pure nature. His thoughts are extremely pure. That is the reason Krishna is entertaining all questions of Arjuna. No matter what Arjuna is asking, patiently he is telling, not just once, again and again. Pura Prokta, I'll tell you again and again, no problem. Why? Because you are Anagha. And that is all what we also should strive to when we are learning Bhagavad Gita. Don't just try to understand the meanings of the shlokas, just the mechanical meaning of the shlokas. So all of you are trying to learn shlokas, learn them, but also understand these small things. If one has to get the shlokas in truest form, we should first get the emotion, the bhav, the characteristics of Arjun in us, we have to first become Anagha. We should have the emotions, we should have the state that Arjun had. That state we should first achieve to be able to understand these chapters. Once you become like that, where entirely dependent on what Shri Krishna is going to tell me, I'm going to listen with an unbiased mind, then these shlokas are automatically going to percolate in our body, in our mind, in our soul, and gradually in our actions. Because what we think, that is what we speak, and what we speak is what we do. So what has to be first lined up? While we are saying karma yoga, you will say, no Didi, we have to just focus on our actions. No, this entire process is starting from where? From the mind. What you think is going to be in your words, and what you are going to say is going to be in your actions. So first thing, you have to become Anagha like Arjuna, and then you will find that it becomes easier to understand the entire Bhagavad Gita. And what Shri Krishna is saying here, hey Anaga, I have already told you two things, two paths. Which are these paths? Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. Jnana Yogena Sankhyana. Sankhya is a category, is a group of thinkers who are all propagating which way? The Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge to attain the God. And Karma Yoga is a path of action by which you can attain a God. You will feel, what are these two actions? This is different. Jnana Yoga means sitting, meditating, trying to attain the knowledge. And Karma Yoga is doing something continuously. So how can they both lead to the same? Now suppose I am staying in Bhagyanagar. Didi told Hyderabad, its name is also Bhagyanagar. I am staying in Bhagyanagar, and I wish to go to Delhi or Lucknow with at Rupal Didi's place. What way I can do? I can either take a flight directly to Lucknow, or I can take a train and reach Lucknow. There are different ways, but what will be the destination? Ultimate destination is going to remain the same. So there are these different paths which are all going to lead you in the same way. But which path we are following, that path we have to follow nicely. Which way? If I've decided that I'm going in a train, I have to ensure that everything that is required to do this train journey appropriately is well understood by me, and also all the things are done and I do this journey properly. If I book a flight ticket and then go by train, it's not going to work, neither the other way. So whatever path we are expected to follow, like most of us here sitting, we are expected to follow Karma Yoga, the path of action. Then what happens? We all have to, while we are following, we have to understand this path properly and have no doubt that this path is also going to lead us to which destination? To the destination of God. It is also going to lead us to the same destination. So Shri Krishna is telling, hey Arjun, I have already told you both paths, Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga, and these two paths I am going to tell you again, both are going to lead you to the same way. Now you will say, which path should we follow? Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga? This is confusing. Again, we'll end up in the same situation that Arjun is, isn't it? Now, the path that we should follow should be the one which is appropriate for us. For instance, as I see, there is a story of Gondavlekar Maharaj that I will like to share with you. Once Gondavlekar Maharaj, he is a very famous saint from Maharashtra. He used to give lot of discourses. His discourses are very famous, and his main message was doing Ram Nam Jap. Always doing Nam Jap is what he has propagated very seriously. Now, this is one of the ways. He was a very educated, very learned saint, and his main message was to do this Ram Nam Jap. Once in front of his ashram, in his ashram, what every day sadhaks used to come, he used to teach them how to meditate and do the Ram Nam Jap. These people used to go. Now, once in front of his ashram, there was a work going on for the construction of roads. The road was being repaired. Now, when there are some laborers who come to repair the road, these laborers, they started thinking, what is this? They are nicely coming daily, sitting, doing Ram Nam, and going. What easy life they have. So convenient, no need to work hard. We are sweating in the sun, repairing the road, breaking, putting that everything, and we are working so hard. These people, their life is so easy. Later Maharaj heard their conversation. Oh, okay. So one day he walked up to them. He says, "You all feel this is very easy?" They said, "Yeah, this is very easy." He said, "Okay, tell me, how much do you earn by doing this repair job? What is it that you earn by, how much do you earn by repairing the roads?" He asked. These people said, I around 25. Now this is a very old story. Okay, many decades back. So that time 25 paisa, 50 paisa, this was a big amount. The laborers say we are being paid per day 25 paisa for this work. Swamiji said, "Okay, I'll give you 50 paisa, double the amount that you are earning now. But one thing you have to do. You have to come early morning tomorrow in my ashram, sit and do whatever I tell you to do. The same thing what Ram Nam Jap we are telling, you have to do. I'll give you 50 paisa." At the end of the day, the laborers are very happy. Yes, done. We will do it. So easy. Somebody who is working on the labor on the roads is getting paid double the amount for this. They were all very happy. The next day, they all turned up early morning at Swamiji's ashram and said, "Okay, tell us what to do." Very excited. Swamiji said, "You don't have to do anything. Just sit here. I'll give you mala." Distributed the jap mala to all the laborers. And he said, "Okay, start the jap now." And he taught them Rama, Rama, Rama. They are doing for some time. They sat after 10-15 minutes, started moving. Now you can't sit for so long. They were not used to doing it, right? After some time, till the lunch break itself, they said, "Okay, enough, Swamiji. We can't just keep sitting. We just can't do this. This is very tough for us to just sit at one place and do this. Let us go. Please leave us. We don't want the money also. Just leave us. Let us go." This is what happens. What is your basic nature? Is your basic nature to sit and study the scriptures? No. Then Jnana Yoga is not meant for you. Is your basic nature to do actions? Then you follow the Karma Yoga and be assured that the destination is going to be same. If I now see, there are some people who are listening to Vivechan now. But at the same time, the first time those who are listening, if I just say, forget, no, don't listen and all, just take one big book, start reading for 5 days without doing anything, is it going to be possible for all? No. That is what Shri Krishna is explaining, that there are two yogas, and whatever is comfortable for you, whatever is in accordance with your nature, choose that path. Understand this one very important message from this shloka. Our biggest welfare is in what? In choosing the path which is in accordance with our nature. What was the nature of the laborers? To build the road. While doing road, how to do that karma such that it doesn't become burden, that they have to understand, but not follow something else which is not meant for them. This we all should understand. The destination has to be the same. All ways are going to lead to one destination. And which is that destination? Shri Krishna is explaining. Na karmana manarambha naishkarmyam purushoshmate na cha sanyasananeva siddhim samadhigacchati. Na karmana manarambha naishkarmyam purushoshmate na cha sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhigacchati. There are two important words in this particular shloka, Naishkarmya Siddhim, and you all understand that this is the ultimate destination that we have to reach. What we are going to achieve by Karma Yoga, what we are going to achieve by the Sankhya Yoga, the ultimate destination is going to be what? Is going to be this Naishkarmya Siddhi. This is what is going to be attained. Once Swamiji tells a very beautiful incident from the life of Maharaj, that once he was in his satsang, and a very big, very pratishthit, very well-known judge came in that meeting, and he asked, the Swamiji, you are telling us so much about moksha. Can you tell me the exact definition of moksha? Moksha means the liberation that we all are trying to see. If anybody asks, you see, when people say, I want to learn Bhagavad Gita, or some people say, I don't want to learn Bhagavad Gita, in whatever the, a basic understanding that a person has, everybody has only one aim. We want to get what? Moksha. We want to achieve moksha. What is moksha? Liberation. Everybody knows this one word. Now he says, what is the exact definition? You have to tell me. Swamiji was very wise. He said, no, in our scriptures, there are 36 definitions of moksha. You tell me which one do you want me to tell you. So, same thing. To attain this one particular destination, there are numerous ways. Two most prominent ways, karma yoga and jnana yoga, are there. Which one you want to choose is your choice. That is what Shri Krishna is saying. That is your choice. But understand that what is the crux of everything? We all want freedom from the pain of everything. While when we are also learning what Bhagavad Gita, somewhere there is this hidden aim that I want to attain liberation. I want to get what? Attain the union with God. The definition of moksha we all know is that I want to get united with God. Now, when you are saying you want to get united with God, there is also a corollary. What is that corollary? That we want to free ourselves from what? From the pain that we experience in this world. Now, by following these paths, Shri Krishna is saying what you will get is that Naishkarmya Siddhi. Now, what he says is no karmanam anarambhat, no amount of action, no amount of not doing action can help you reach that particular destination. What is this Naishkarmya Siddhi? Naishkarmya Siddhi is a place or a state where even when you are not doing anything, everything is being done. Like, for instance, we say sun is rising. Sun is rising in the air, sets in the west. We all know that when the sun is rising, what happens? The plants get life. The flowers have started blooming. Everything is happening at the onset of the day. When the day comes, the sun is rising, everything is starting on its own. In the light of the sun, all these actions are happening. But if assume sun is a personified thing, and somebody goes and asks him, everything is happening because of you. Because of you, we are getting the lives in our light. He'll say, what have I done? He is just doing his job in a way without even being attached to his actions, completely renouncing. Sanyasanat, by complete renunciation, what he will answer? I am not doing anything. What is happening? Everything is happening on its own. So Surya Bhagwan has attained that Naishkarmya Siddhi. Everything is happening because of him, due to him, but he is not tainted. He is not having that sense, that feeling of being the doer. The actions are being done by him. At the same time, they are not being done by him. Naishkarma, the literal meaning of this word is actionlessness. Actionlessness. So while doing the actions also, not being attached to those actions is the ultimate state that we are trying to seek. That particular state is what is being achieved. Now, how to achieve that? This is the ultimate destination. How to achieve that? Because we are bound to do something. If somebody says, we were saying these lepers were not able to sit without doing any action, that is our state also. Not even for a minute anybody can sit without doing action. Then Shri Krishna understands that. That is what exactly he is telling in the next shloka. What he says, nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krit karyate yavashak karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. Very important thing we have to understand about actions. When we are saying karma, when we are saying actions, we have to start understanding its various characteristics also. Karma, we all know, or action, we all know, is what you do. But there are a lot of characteristics. There are a lot of, where you all must have studied in school and all, properties of solids, liquids, and gases. Like that, there are properties of actions also. That, let us see, what is the first property of action? Is that nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krit. Not even for 1 minute, not even for a second. Kaschit kshana. Kshana is what? Even a second. For a moment also, a person cannot live without doing any action. For instance, now you all are listening to the religion session. You all are listening. Because I'm talking, you are listening. Now, if I stop talking, you will say, no, still I will just sit quiet. While you are listening, you all are not talking, right? You all are listening quietly. One thing you are listening, one action, another action that you are doing is sitting quietly. That sitting quietly is inaction, not doing anything and just sitting and listening. Now, if I stop talking and you decide that, okay, I will still sit quiet and do nothing, is that possible? No, the moment this speech will stop, what will you start doing? Okay, till it starts, let me check my mobile. Some messages in this past 30-35 minutes, some messages must have come immediately. Talking to somebody in the family. Okay, till she starts, let me quickly have a look at the match. Let me quickly have a look at the TV. Not even for a moment we all are going to be sitting without inaction. Inaction is just not possible. Why? Because we are in this body. We are dehadhari, means we are people, we are a body, and the very basic nature of body is what? Doing actions. Nahi kashtit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karma kut. Not even for a minute we can remain without doing actions. We have to understand that. So even if you decide not to do anything, what will happen? You are sitting. Sitting in itself is an action. Breathing, even to live, we are breathing. The breathing is also an action. And if we close our eyes and start thinking, now I'm not thinking anything. Quietly I'm thinking. One thought will come. See, I'm not thinking of anything. My mind, there is no thought in my mind. The thought that there is not no other thought is also a thought, isn't it? So not even for a moment you can sit without not doing anything. If whatever happens, there is going to be some action continuously being done by this body. And why so? Karyate yavashak karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. See, what is the word that Shri Krishna is using here? Karyatehi avashaha. Avashaha means what? Helpless. Completely helpless we are with this. No matter how much we decide to not do work, we will be helplessly driven to do work. That is why, because we are originating, we are born to Prakriti. Prakriti means this nature. The very nature of nature is to do work. And why so? See, Shri Krishna is taking us very deep into all this. You have to understand these things step by step. So we have, first thing we have noted about action is that there is no state of inaction. This cannot happen. Why? Because we are helpless in this matter. And why we are helpless? Because our origin is what? This entire nature, this Prakriti. Whatever matter you see around us is Prakriti. Whatever is around us is Prakriti. Whatever we can understand and see is Prakriti. And whatever is not being visible, whatever is driving this entire nature is Purush or Paramatma Tattva. You see this computer. Now this computer is working. Why? Because it is plugged in a power plug. Okay, this computer is a machine. I am able to see, you are able to see, everything is there. It is a matter. It is working. You are just seeing that machine. But what is the energy that is driving? It is this power plug which is giving the power. That power plug, the electricity which is driving this laptop is the Paramatma Tattva. It is the subtle God. And the body, that is the laptop, is what is responsible for which action? The action of you listening and the action of me talking. These actions we are able to exchange owing to this entire mechanism. Now, whatever is in the Prakriti, whatever is in this machine, that machine is driven by three forces. This entire the very nature of matter. So we were talking about three states of matter: solids, liquids, and gases. We say the properties of solids, the properties of liquids, etc. All these things we discuss. Now when we are discussing this, there is a very property of matter itself, the very property of nature. There are three properties. What are those three properties of the nature itself? The three gunas, which you have seen in the second level. In the 14th chapter, 17th chapter, you have already gone through that. Which are the three gunas? Sattva gun, then Rajo gun, and tamo gun. We all know that these three gunas, the very nature of Prakriti is Trigunatmika, means what? It is driven by these three gunas. Nothing in this entire world, always understand, once the person had asked me a question in one of my Vivechan sessions, that how do I become sattvic, completely sattvic? I want to leave my laziness and become completely sattvic. How do I achieve? First thing we have to understand, there is no uh, situation where a particular thing or a human being or a person can be only one particular guna. That person cannot be completely sattvic. A person cannot be completely rajoguni. A person cannot be completely tamoguni. We have to put this thing very, it should be inscribed in our minds, that the nature is always a mixture of all these three gunas. Sarvai prakriti jair gunaihi. The word here is prakriti jaihi gunaihi. Where are these qualities originating from? From prakriti, from matter. And because we are also a part of matter, these gunas are naturally going to come in us, and not just one guna. Okay, all three gunas are going to come in our body. To understand this better, let us see. You all have seen a car which is working. The car is a machine. Our body is also a machine. Ramdas Swami says this: the Sharira is also a yantra. It is also a machine. Just like how a car is machine. What are the for this car? Now it's going to be dark in some time. For this car to be able to work, go in this particular work properly in a particular direction, it needs headlights. It needs some light. It needs or a GPS to understand where to go. Then it has to have some speed. If there is no speed, it will be hauled at one place. There is a speed, then only the car is going to be driven. And just having lot of speed is not going to help. What is the most important thing? That has to have some brakes. Otherwise, the car in speed, you know what dangerous it can become. So it needs a GPS for directions. It needs GPS, headlight, everything for a proper direction. It needs what? Speed. It needs the speed to go ahead. It needs that. And it also needs brakes. For what? To control these speeds. Just like that. So this GPS or the headlight that we are saying, it is a sattva swarup of the machine. Sattva means giving direction, light. The prakash that we also have within us, the sense of direction. We all have this intellect of pursuing the studies of Bhagavad Gita. There is something which has persuaded us to come and study Bhagavad Gita. That direction in our lives is what? The Sattva Gun, which has put us in this direction of pursuing Bhagavad Gita. Then there is something which is going to stop. We need that speed. Now just having an intention to study Bhagavad Gita is not enough. Every day we have to make an effort of logging into the class for 40 minutes and attending. That is what the Rajogun, the speed of the car, the action of you logging in to make an effort to study Bhagavad Gita, that is driven by what? The Rajogun. And the brakes of a car, that is what? Which will tell you where to rest. Okay, stop, do chintan before you rush into everything. No, wait, listen. Tirelessly everybody starts working, then how will the body get the energy to work ahead? That is the brakes are the tamogun. Every machine, a car needs these three things. Every body needs these three gunas. All three gunas are equally important. And because we originate from Prakriti, these three gunas are inherently in us. And owing to these three gunas, what happens? We become helpless. Karyate hi avashaha. We are helpless, that we cannot stay without doing actions. This is the importance of this particular shloka, that you have to understand. We cannot stay without doing any actions. Now, if still somebody decides that, okay, whatever you're saying, I don't agree, I can sit without doing any action. Somebody decides, no, today I will sit without doing any actions. It is going to be 6 till 8 o'clock at least. I'll see what will happen. Slowly that dinner time comes. No, we decide that we'll be quiet, no action, nothing I'll do. What will happen? Though a person is sitting doing nothing, what will the mind say? I'm feeling hungry. Okay, little thirsty. Should I ask somebody for water? No, I'm feeling hungry. Ultimately, get up and do what? Get some food, get some water. That thing will happen. So, what has happened? Though the body is not doing any action, what is pushing you towards action? What is it that is continuously doing the action? It is the mind. It is your man. That is what Shri Krishna says in the next shloka. Karmendriyani sanyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mithyachara sauchyate. What is saying? Karmendriyani sanyamya. Even if you decide that by controlling all the senses, karmendriya. See, we have different the sense organs that we have are also classified into various forms. Karmendriya, Jnanendriya. The ones which help you do any actions are the Karmendriya. Karmendriya are your organs of actions. Which are they? My hands, my mouth, my ears. These are all helping me do these actions. Now, even if I decide that I'll control my hands, no matter if I decide I'll be quiet, I'll not talk, no matter how much somebody tells me to talk, I will not talk. Even if we do this, what they will do? Yeah, aste manasas maran. What will this man do? It will remind of what? The sense objects. Indriya, what it will remind you of? The food. Okay, if I'm sitting, let me look at the mobile, not just food. Okay, there are so many objects which we enjoy through our sense organs. These are what? These are called the vishay, or the subjects of these senses. What are the subjects of our senses? The subject of our eyes is what? Pictures, different types of views, scenes. What are the subjects of our ears? Different types of stories, listening to music. All these are different objects. Okay, if this Didi stops talking, let her stop talking. I will listen to some other news channel. I will listen to other songs. Let me listen to other songs. I will sit and chant. These are the different. And who will remind you of all those things? Your mind. The mind is not in control. What is happening? Even if we control all our sense organs, what will happen? The mind is not going to let you do that. We have to understand why. Na indriyarthan vimudhatma mithyachara sauchyate. So even while this is a very important thing here, vimudhatma means we are deluded. This is a understanding that we all have, that we can do. This is a delusion that you can do, because your mind is not going to let you do that. And that is why mithyachara sauchyate. Remember that this is actually a thought of hypocrisy, that we can do this. No matter what we decide, that I'll control all my sense organs, all my physical organs I will control, but the mind is going to frickle here and there. And what it is going to do? It is going to remind me of different things, and ultimately going to break that sense of inaction. So just understand this, and understand that this act of being able to control all your sense organs, it is a delusion. This is mithyachara sauchyate. It is a delusional thing. So no matter externally, so here you have to understand one thing. What is it? That externally we might still control ourselves. Internally, what is going to happen? There is going to be a continuous chintan, continuous remembrance, continuous attachment to what? Some or the other action, isn't it? So here we have to think. Instead, now sometimes recently Ekadashi and all happened. We decide to do fasting. Many people think, I'll fast today, I'll not eat. And then what happens? In the house, you see, modak was made for Ganpati. Why I did Ekadashi? I could have started from the next 15 days cycle. No, why I did now? This thought will come. Why now? So many modaks, such nice puran poi mama has made. Why did I start fasting today? I should have done next time. So instead of thinking about food for so many 3 hours, in those 10 minutes, why don't you just go and eat food? Because what happens? Though we are thinking that we are remaining detached from this activity of eating, for the entire day, what we are doing? continuously thinking of food only. Ekadashi Upas, what we are doing whole day, and I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to eat, but always thinking of what? Food itself. How is that going to help? So that is what Shri Krishna is saying. Yes, Tvindriyani manasa niyamya ravaterjuna karmendriyai karma yogam asaktasya vishishyate. The one, see what he is saying, yahatu indriyani manasa niyamya. So what Shri Krishna is trying to tell here, because you are trying to not do any actions, this is not possible unless you control your what? Mind. So what we have to do, yes, tvindriyani manasa, unless you control your mind, it is not possible to control what? Your sense organs. We all have to understand that no matter how much I decide that I will control, I will not eat, I will not do this, but unless in the early mornings, how many of you want to go for a walk? What happens? But it's raining, blanket mein ghus jao. So no matter how much I want to go to work, unless my mind is under my control, I will not go for the work. You'll agree with it or not? Similarly, this is what Shri Krishna is. He understands our mentality so well, no? He understands that this is the problem. These all, it is not problem of Arjuna alone. It is our problem also. That no matter what we decide to do, our mind, unless our mind is in control, nothing can be achieved. Shri Krishna is saying in the 7th shloka that yahatu indriyani manasa niyamya arabhate. Unless you start any action with a complete control of your mind, you are not going to be able to achieve karma yoga. Now understand, there is a difference between karma and karma yoga. This entire chapter is about, you know what, converting your karma, your action into karma yoga, into giving it an excellent state, making it an ideal action. That is the reason we have to understand this chapter. And this is what Shri Krishna is here one by first another step he is telling, every action that you are starting without controlling your mind, it is not going to help. So if we decide to do the fast, first learn to have what? Control the mind. Before we decide that, I will not eat anything, first let us decide to control our mind with small things. Before I make a decision that from tomorrow morning I'm just every day going to go for a walk, first have a control of our mind, that we are going to be doing what? This thing we are going to do. And this is very much possible when we are making an aim, when you keep an ambition in mind. Gradually your mind will get programmed and all your indriya, all your organs will start working in that direction. We all know Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. When he was very small, 14-year-old child, what a 14-year-old child will do nowadays, they will just play video games. But in those days, Shivaji Maharaj had a beautiful upbringing by Mata Jijabai, and what he had decided at the age of 14, he went to a temple and there he did a sankalpa. Sankalpa means what? He decided to do something that I will attain Swaraj. I will attain freedom for my country, for my nation. He decided. He took a group of his friends. Now the beauty is he's not alone. He's also encouraging all his friends in this direction. He said, no, we all together will go. Influenced his friends and took them to a temple and decided, we have to do this. I will. Now at 14 years old, did he had the clarity of how he's going to do and whom he had to fight? Aurangzeb, the Mughal emperors who were more than double his age. Okay. And only thing he had in his mind, only one sankalpa he had in his mind, that I have to attain Swaraj for this nation. I want our people to rule themselves. Others should not rule. My dharma, my dharma should be saved. This was what he had decided at the age of what? 14. He didn't just first go and start fighting. No, first the sankalpa is made. At the age of 14, in front of whom? In front of the deity. He did this sankalpa, and automatically when his mind set is done, when the mind is set in one direction, what happens? all the other organs follow. Every action will be in which direction? To prepare him for Swarajya. So we know how he has prepared. He has built up his body. He has built up his skills to attain that warfare. To be able to fight these people, he was the most skilled. You all must be knowing. He is he's called the father of Navy. For that, he needs some skill set, isn't it? That skill set, how will he achieve? Only by doing the appropriate amount of exercise in your work, the physical workout. Unless he does that, will he achieve it? No. But to be able to achieve that amount of physical workout, what has to be there? The mind has to be in control. Manasa niyamya. We have to control the mind. Tomorrow is 2nd October. Tomorrow is birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, we all know, and also of Lal Bahadur Shastri. He is the ex-Prime Minister of India. Such great charitra even he has liberated India out of many problems, and he had decided his aim is that the nation should progress. In that, I will not seek what I want. So when the salary is being given even to the Prime Minister, okay, now the Prime Minister is getting the salary. When India and Pakistan were at war, what he said, his determination that my nation should progress was so strong that during the war times, he refused to draw the salary. Or as a prime minister, he said, no, because my nation is at war. The nation is in tough time. This money is very much needed by my country. I am not going to utilize this money for my own benefit. I will not drive the money. That was his determination. Somebody else would have been there. Nowadays, how the politicians are, get whatever they can, accumulate. No, I am not going to accumulate any wealth from here. I'm only going to, what is the only thing in his mind? He had controlled everything. He could take this decision because Manasanyamya, his mind was under his control. That is why his karmendriya, karma yoga, and all that actions that he did by his organs, by other karmendriya, by his other organs, they became what? Karma yoga. For your actions, for your karma, to become karma yoga, what has to be the first step that we have to do? We have to control the mind. And then this kind of person, how he becomes? He becomes asakta savisheshyate. What is his speciality? He becomes asakta. Karmendriya karma yogam asakta savisheshyate. That is the second line. What it means? That this kind of person, whatever action he is doing, that action becomes what? It becomes karma yoga. And he becomes completely detached from actions. Even though he is doing the actions, he becomes detached from this action. Though he was the prime minister doing all these actions, but he was detached from that, feeling his only intention was what? That the benefit of the nation has to be done. And he continued his actions in that direction. And his actions became what? Karma yoga. What is karma yoga? Anything done without an expectation of fruits, anything done without expectation of result is called karma yoga. There are many properties again of karma yoga. So gradually we'll see one by one. But what is it that attaches you to your actions is, what am I going to get in return? So if mother says that, you have to study, first thought that comes is, how many marks should I score? Have I studied enough to score 60% marks? Okay, then what is the need to study? The first thing is what? I have to study to top in the exam. Some people will think what? I have to study to just pass in the exam. So whatever action of studies we are doing, that we are doing with what? An anticipation of the result. What am I going to get in return? So this is what, and what am I going to get in return? That thought is the main deterrent which is going to stop you from doing the action effectively. That is what we all have to understand. When you are working, work. When you are playing, play. Whenever you are going to, do any action, it has to be done without thinking about the fruit, and that is karma yoga. Your karma will become karma yoga only when your mind is in control. One step by step. Now we have moved one step ahead. Now we have, till now we have understood what? that we cannot stay without doing any action. Our mind should not be stuck in any action. And now Shri Krishna is going to tell us about what are the different types of actions that a person can do. Niyatam kuru karma tvam karma jyayo ya karmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhyeda karmanaha niyatam kuru karma tvam. What is the karma that we have to do? Niyata karma. What is the meaning of niyata? Niyata means what you are meant to do. As a teacher, but she is only expected to teach. She is not expected to bring tiffin boxes for the children from home because she is not a parent, she is a teacher. She is supposed to teach. So a doctor, he is expected to treat a person. He is not expected to what? Sit and do engineering programs, fix the computer and all. For him, that was things will be done by whom? His team of engineers will fix his computer and all. His job is what? To study the medical studies. So what is meant for you, that you should be doing. Niyatang kuru karmatvam. Now, though this karma, because we are trying to understand the whole, set a big subject called karma, we have to understand that karma is of different types. A broad classification of karma is vihita karma. You can note this word. What is the meaning of this word vihita? Vihit means the actions which are prescribed by what? The Vedas. What our Vedas are going to prescribe for us. That a student should study. A mother should take care of the house. A ladies should take care of the house. Okay, men also take care of the house in a different way, but everyone's actions are different. We should be kind to others. These are all the actions that are prescribed by the Vedas. There are many, innumerous things that our Vedas teach us. While our Vedas are teaching this, there is a subset. You all understand that's a small particular subset of karma, which is called vihita karma, is the one that is actions prescribed by Vedas, and a subset of those actions is what? Niyata karma. Niyata means what you are expected to do. Students, we all love the example of students. So students are expected to study, but a student of 9th grade should study subjects of what? 9th grade only. He should not go and study 6th, 7th standard subjects, isn't it? A student of engineering will study engineering subject, not the subjects of medical. So studying is the vihita karma, and studying medical for a medical student, studying 9th grade student should study his 9th grade subjects. All this is niyata karma. So what you are expected to study, that is your niyata karma. So this is, we have to understand, like we have seen the example of the laborers, right? Isn't it? The laborers who were working and repairing the road, their job was to repair the roads. They have to just sit and repair the roads. That job of repairing roads is different from the job of meditation. So their job, the meditation is the job of the sages. They will do the meditation. That the job of the laborer is to repair the road. They will do. So niyata karma of the laborer is to repair the roads, that he will do. Then niyata karma of the sages is to sit and do Ram Jap. They will do. So that we have to understand that we have to do what Shri Krishna is telling us to do. What? Niyata karma. Niyatang guru karma tvam karma jyayo ya karmana. Okay, and karma jyayo ya karmana. We have to understand that not doing any work, it is always inferior to doing work. You have to do work. We all are convinced. Karma jyayo ya karmana. So doing work, irrespective of everything, doing work is a more superior thing to do. Now, if you cannot stay without doing any work, nahi kashchit kshanam api chatu tishtatya karma kare. We cannot stay without doing work. You have to do some work. Then better do what is meant for you, isn't it? Better do what is prescribed for you. Better do what is prescribed by Vedas. So we have to understand that actionlessness is not meant for us. Since we have to do some work, better to do what is done by what is prescribed by the Vedas. And while we are doing what is prescribed by the Vedas, we have to focus on what is meant for us, our niyata karma. Sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhyeda karmanah. Because why? This entire thing, this step by step journey of not being, remaining without actions and all this is not possible. Why? Because we are in a body. We are a part of this body. Sharira yatra pichate. We are in a journey. Our journey starts from when? From the time we are born. Our journey starts from the time that we are born, and it is going to end when the body is going to, this life is going to end, when our atma will leave this body. This time from the birth to death is this, we are in a journey. And this Sharira Yatra, we are on which journey? Sharira Yatra. On this journey we are going to be there, and this is not going to happen. This Sharira Yatra is not possible without any actions. We have to understand this. And when with action is better to do what is prescribed by Vedas. And now what Sri Krishna explains about work, about karma, about this entire action, Sri Krishna is taking a very different turn here. What he's saying, yajñārthāt karmano nyatra loko yang karma bandhanah tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. This is a very important thing. Sri Krishna gives a very different perspective about what? About the karma itself, about action itself. What he is saying, every karma, every action should be done by what? By having a perspective as if you are doing a yajna, and to understand how to do karma as if it is a yajna. When somebody says yajna, what comes in front of our minds, in front of our eyes? A picture of what? Of a Havan Kunda, where the fire is lighting, the mantras are being chanted, we all feel. And in all this, what is happening? We will see that a yajna is going on. But this is not just the complete definition of yajna. This is just one of the type of yajna. In this chapter, you are going to see many different types of yajna. And Sri Krishna says that every action that we do is also a yajna. Karma has to be done as if it is yajna. And to understand how to do karma as a yajna, first we have to understand what is yajna. What is yajna? We have to understand. And to before you understand what is yajna, this you will be able, we don't have sufficient time to understand what is yajna at this moment. But before we understand before we understand yajna, we have to have a particular mindset, a mindset of gratitude. Unless we are thankful towards what we get in our lives, until we have a perception of thankfulness, it is difficult to understand the concept of yajna. We should be thankful whatever we are getting. Now I'm seeing, talking to you through this computer. This computer is also a blessing in my life. Whatever is the these different things like food we get to eat. This food, some people say we are so rich, we are not dependent on anybody for food. But what the food that you get, somebody has toiled very hard in the farms to make the food available to you. So we cannot have that ahankar, that ego, that we are self-sufficient, that we don't need anything. That we should not have. We should have what? A feeling of kritagnyata, feeling of thankfulness for everything that we have in our lives. And that is the first step towards understanding what is yajna. While we are trying to understand this, one small bhajan I want to remind all of you of which will which will detach you from this ego of everything being mine. There's a very beautiful bhajan. Main nahi mera nahi yah tan kisi ka hai diya. Main nahi mera nahi yah tan kisi ka hai diya. Jo bhi apne paas hai wah dhan kisi ka hai diya. मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यहाँ tan kisi ka hai diya. What we think that this body I am doing, I am speaking, I am achieving, I am writing exams, I have done this. But we have to understand that we are machines. We have been given this body. We cannot have that ego of having done everything. Whatever money we have, I am buying my own food. No, that money is also a blessing to you. We have to understand that everything around us is a blessing. Gradually, with this thought, we will take a step ahead in the next session to understand what is yajna and what is yajnarthat karmana. Karmana means how this karma can be yajnarthat karmana. What is this kind of karma? You'll get to know in the next session. So with this, I offer this entire discourse at the feet of Param Puja Swami Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj, Sri Jnaneshwar Maharaj, and Sri Krishna himself, with whose blessings we all sit here and enjoy this conversation that he has given. Hari Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you so very much, Didi. Like always, I am mesmerized by your words, the simplicity with which you presented this complex chapter. And now is the time. Like I always say, first of all, let me remind you all that what Didi is doing is seva. Despite being so busy, she's a trainer, she's a trainer's selection team, trainer for all level. Yet she finds time for everything, because seva is the ultimate sadhana, like Guruji always tells us. 8th October, we have our Geeta Sevi Bane. Please do join it and try to contribute as much as you can. Now is the time for question answer. So we'll take questions one by one. Please raise your hand. Renu Didi has already raised her hand. So I'll unmute you, Didi. You can ask your question.
Hare Krishna, Didi.
Hare Krishna.
Didi, you said that we should do our niyat karmas. So what I'm a bit confused about is that nowadays a lady has to do job also. From morning till evening, she's out of the house. Now she comes in the evening and she's also tired, because the jobs are very stressful. So niyat karma is that they should be cooking food for the family.
They should be taking care of the family, basically. Cooking, yes.
So now I'm retired, but it was a confusion in my mind that I should be cooking the food, then it becomes so stressful for you. So how do
that's a very, very interesting question, and it is a very practical question also. So when we are doing something, one very niyata karma, your niyata karma is now not restricted alone to just taking care of the family. So when you are in the office, when we don't think, right, that I am in the office, this is becoming stressful. Both are something both of them are niyata karma. We have to enjoy both. And we have, while you are doing both these actions, see we have to prepare ourselves such that, again, manasa niyamya, by controlling our mind only, like this is also my job, that is also my job. When we are in the office, we focus in the office. When we are in the house, we focus in the house. We plan our actions accordingly. In the house, we might need some additional help. But what we have to first do, that the first sankalpa should be that I have to excel here also. A lady who has decided that she will excel at house also, no matter how stressful the job becomes, she is going to excel on both the fronts. So what we have to first do, the tiredness, the fatigue of mind, we should first leave. Then gradually everything will fall in place. Okay, so
thank you.
Is it okay, Didi? You want to say something, Renu Didi?
Thank you so much.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Shruti Didi, you can start your video first.
Yes, Shruti Didi, you can unmute.
Yeah. Shruti Didi, unmute yourself.
Okay. Jai Shri Krishna. I wanted to ask, 10th shloka. Purush, what is the meaning of Purovacha Prajapati? Anena Prasavishyadvam.
We have not completed the 10th. Yeah, we have not completed the 10th shloka, but Drupal Didi
Okay.
will explain this in the next
Till
chapter.
Miss.
But
Okay.
just
Miss,
because you have, for the sake of completion, Pura Uvacha Prajapati means before this, like Pura Prokta Maya Naga, we said in the first shloka, Prajapati is Brahma. Prajapati, he has also told about this, and then Anena Prasavishyatvam, there it is Prashavityadam Vaha Astu Ishta Kamaduk, whatever this Kamaduk, under explaining this is going to be not happening in 2 minutes.
Okay.
So
Next
for
class.
next session, this will
Okay.
be covered from 9th
Fine.
shloka. Sheelani have to start.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to know the meaning of Estvindriyani. What is the meaning of Estvindriyani?
Yahatu Indriyani. Indriyani means our senses. Okay, Yahatu Indriyani. That is the meaning of Yastu Indriyani. Yes, Yahatu Indriyani Niyamya. So, by controlling the senses.
Our mind, controlling our mind.
Not just mind. Indriya means all sense. Indriya means all sense organs are coming.
Sense.
And in that manasa niyamya. So what is a yahatu? Indriyani manasa niyamya. So the sense organs are being controlled by controlling the mind. Okay.
Thank you.
That is what
Thank
that
you.
line means.
Thank you, Didi. Radha Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Namaste. So I wanted to ask one question, ma'am. So when you were explaining the shloka, you said that to stay detached in one of the shlokas, right? So when I say that, okay, I have to gain 90%, I have to get 90% in my exam. I start with an expectation. I work because of that expectation. But when I don't get it, I get upset. So now I'm also doing the karma, but I'm also, without this 90%, I'll not be motivated to do the karma. But then I have attached myself to the karma. So now how can we explain this?
This is a very important question. And this is exactly what we are going to learn in this chapter. What we are going to learn. See, a person is attached to his karma in 3 forms. One, he is attached to the karma himself, that this is my favorite job, I will only do it. Then second, he is attached to the fruits of that action, that this is what I want to achieve. And the pain and pleasure that arise out of this is going to affect him the most. This is discussed in the chapter further. How we can detach ourselves from the fruits that is going to come ahead in this particular chapter. How we can stay, detached from, and what we have seen in the shlokas that we have discussed today. What is it that can keep you, detached from this fruits? Is understanding that these actions are born out of the different gunas. We are seeing that now we are going to be enjoying all these actions. As a result, when we are discussing the properties of action, the natural properties, whatever action you are going to do, you are going to get a fruit of it. What we experience out of that, we should not get attached to it. And when that will happen, when our mind is detached from the actions. So when I'm seeing that though I am doing all these actions, I want to give the exams, I have tried my level best to get what I have to get in these exams. Whatever I get, I do not get attached to that result. Why only this? Why not this? Because I have got a result in accordance to my actions. Being able to accept that is what matters. And using whatever you have got, you have to decide what is going to happen further, what actions you have to get. You should not get emotionally attached to that result. Don't be attached to the result. Even in the second chapter, karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. There is no attachment to the result that we should keep. And how to free ourselves from the pain and pleasure, that in itself is a big science, which will be discussed in the chapter further.
Thank you. Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste. Jai Shri Krishna. Yeah.
Veena Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Didi, Pura Prokta Mayanaga, you told. Anaga means like Partha was he was so pure in his heart. That is why Krishna was telling him repeatedly with affection. I just wanted to know if the other person is intentionally troubling us, We know that they are intentionally troubling us and asking us again and again. Should that time we should repeat or not?
Repeat with full wisdom, no? See, depending on, he was Anaga, so Shri Krishna is told him nicely. Now you repeat using your wisdom without losing the control of your senses, like not getting angry. We have to always remember, Krodha. Remember there is Trividha Narakasyenam. What are the three doors of Naraka? We have seen in one of the chapters, right? That these three are the doors of what we should not get angry. While you are replying or not replying, whatever action you decide to do in accordance with the person in front of you, with whatever action you are doing, don't lose your own control. That is what Shri Krishna means here. So even if now not necessary, first we are not Krishna to be having any anaga in front of us. While we are talking to somebody, no matter what the person is trying to irritate us, our mind should be how that no matter how much we know that the person's intent is to irritate you, you don't get irritated. That is, and your aim is to not get irritated. Now what you want to do, whether you have to let him fulfill his aim or you want to fulfill your aim, that is your choice. So your aim is not to get irritated, his aim is to irritate you. Now you decide what you want to achieve, his
Thank
aim or
you.
your aim.
Thank you, Didi. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Jai Shri Krishna. Vani Didi. Jai Shri
Yes, Jai Shri Krishna, ma'am.
Krishna.
Yeah, Jai Shri Krishna, ma'am. I just wanted to know, you said we all work according to our nature, right? Our actions are according to our nature. When you are like polite, you don't want to fight and all, like you are very calm and peaceful person, but still, people around you are troubling you. They are provoking you that you should say something, you are trying to control yourself, but emotionally then you are drained out, you just go down, like, here I'm controlling myself. And
So
and
basically, what
how
she
to
means to say is, a person is very talkative and he's trying not to be talkative, but a person in front of her is trying to make her talk. What to do? Here we have to understand what is the meaning of nature. What is the meaning of nature? It is somehow, it is whether you should talk or not, it's not your nature. Your nature is that the nature that is being spoken about here, niyata karma or prakriti, what is being talked about here is not the behavioral nature that we are talking about. Whether I'm a talkative person, I'm a quiet person, I don't like to talk. This is not our nature. These are our actions ultimately. What is lying behind them is your nature, that whether what is your thought process, what is your thinking, that is your real nature. If somebody is provoking you and your nature is to talk, now what you should control, we have to first train our mind. As I told you, we are again here focusing on the action, whether I'll talk or not, whether I should reply or not. This should not be the action item. What should be the action item? The action item is, what is my mind trained to do? How am I training the mind? Is it appropriate to talk? That is what we have to decide. If it is appropriate to talk and that situation demands that you talk, you talk. If it is not appropriate to talk, the situation also doesn't demand you to talk, then don't talk. Simple. But just because I am having urge to talk, then what is it for? Who is at fault? Your mind is at fault. So we have to first control the mind, learn to control our mind. As the mind gets in control, the nature will automatically fall in place. According to the situation, what we have to do, it will all fall in place. I hope I'm answering your question.
Yes, ma'am. Jai Shri Krishna, ma'am. Thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Krishna. Subhalakshmi ji, pranam.
Jai Krishna ji. Actually, niyata karma means you have told a prescribed action.
No, niyata karma is what is meant for you. Prescribed actions, and niyata karma is a subset of the prescribed actions. Like a soldier, his niyata karma, see, ahimsa is a vihita karma. Nobody should unnecessarily harm anybody. Whether it is a verbal harm or any, ahimsa is vihita karma. We all should follow. But a soldier, when he is on duty, his job is to protect the nation, and his job demands that he goes and kills the army. That is his niyata karma. Do you get? So niyata karma is a subset of vihita karma, that is the subset of the prescribed actions. Prescribed actions by Vedas are not niyata karma alone. They are a subset of the prescribed action. So ahimsa is a prescribed action, but protecting the country is my niyata karma. Okay.
Actually, my question is,
Hmm.
see, a housewife and a working wife and a husband. In this, what is this niyata karma and karma? He is always this ladies only are suffering because they have to take care of the children, the home, the job, everything. Especially in America, it is very, very difficult. And both the husband and wife are doing jobs, but the responsibility the wife is taking is very much and is getting a very toll on their health also.
I get you.
That's
See, one thing,
how should they
one thing,
balance?
what happens is what is the main cause of fatigue we have to understand here. Now we all know that niyata karma we have to do. If doing job is my niyata karma, taking care of my family is also my niyata karma. When we are doing niyata karma with a process of it being a yajna, now we are doing karma because we are focusing on the actions. When we turn this karma of taking care of family into karma yoga, you will understand this in the next stage. When it becomes a karma yoga, when taking care of the family becomes from karma, it turns into a karma yoga, you will find a complete switch of this thought. Then this tiredness will not come, irrespective of whether my husband is helping me or not. If I enjoy my karma, I do my karma as if it is a karma yoga, then this fatigue is not going to come. People get tired of their actions because their actions are just actions and that they are not karma yoga. Because karma is not karma yoga, it results in fatigue, it results in distress. Karma results in distress. The main root causes because it is not karma yoga. We have to turn it into karma yoga. We have to do it as if it is an action. And for getting a complete understanding of this, we have to wait for completion of this chapter because it is a detailed topic in itself. But at the same time, do you taking out time to understand this entire thing in itself is a big thing, irrespective of your entire work pressure, home pressure. You are taking out time to learn Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because we are enjoying it. This pleasure that we are getting from reading Bhagavad Gita, the same pleasure will start coming from your karma. That is when your karma has become karma yoga, and how that stage is achieved, we'll gradually see in the next upcoming shlokas. That state we'll achieve definitely, Didi.
Thank you, Didi.
So, Jai Shri Krishna. Just one last question we'll take.
Okay.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna.
In third sloka, third Gnana Yogena Sankhyanam. What is Sankhyanam, Didi?
Sankhyanam here. Sankhya, see, there are many different names. Sankhya is, we have in our scriptures, there are 6 darshans which have been prescribed. One of them is Sankhya darshan, and here the word is indicating the people who belong to that school of thoughts, the philosophers who are, have follow that school of thought of Sankhya darshan. It is called Sankhyanam. The Sankhyanam, it is equivalent to the Jnana yogis. For simplicity, I will just say the ones who believe that the way to attain God is what? Path of knowledge, seeking knowledge, study scriptures, do meditation and attain the knowledge of God and get united with Him. The people who follow that school of thoughts are the Jnana yogis. They are the Sankhya who are being spoken about here. Okay, so the Sankhya, the philosophers who believe in Jnana Yoga are the Sankhyana.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you, Didi. Rest of the questions we'll take next time. Thank you so much. In complete gratitude, like you said, Didi, gratitude is the attitude. In complete gratitude, you took out time for us. I know you have another Vivechan to rush to. So thank you for coming and throwing light on it. I will fail in my duty if I do not team, thank all the people working behind the scene to make this session a success, our IT team, our tech team, and our anchoring team. Also, please mark date on 8th of October to attend the Aao Geeta Sevi Bani program. For completion, I would like to offer this entire session to the holy lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. And for that, I will call forward Sadhana Gupta Didi, who's from Delhi and is a retired makeup artist and hair stylist. She joined Geeta Parivar in 2021 and has been serving as tech support and group coordinator for all levels. Welcome, Didi.
जय श्री कृष्णा दीदी और सभी को मेरा जय श्री कृष्णा। योगेशं सच्चिदानंदं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्म संस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्री कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं।
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Didi. Thank you so very much. Before we discuss,
Thanks a lot to you also.
Thank you so much, Didi. Before we disperse, let us just listen to the Hanuman Chalisa. I hope all of us have installed the Ram Pratishtha app. Let's listen to the Hanuman Chalisa, chant along, and then call it a day. Thank you, Shraddha Didi, one more time. Thank you, Jai Shri Krishna. Bhaiya.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसतिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन न फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hanuman. Dear sadhaks, do come back next week for more about this chapter. Have a beautiful and blessed week ahead. Thank you.